Hi everyone, this is Megan Lemp, and this is a quick video to offer you an option to use your breath at home to do some rebalancing, essentially a treatment to move your chi and blood while you're at home when we don't have the option to be together. Let's start by finding a comfortable seated or laying position. Wherever you are is just fine. Place your hands in what feels like the most grounded position to you. I like to start with one hand on my heart or my chest and the other hand just below my navel on my abdomen. So take a minute to settle in. Find a way to comfort yourself by placing your hands in a nurturing position. And start to bring your awareness and your breath down into your abdomen, allowing your abdomen to expand on the inhale and lower on the exhale. This doesn't have to be forced, you don't have to try. It's more of an allowing process, and it can be a gentle rising and falling of your abdomen. Bringing your awareness back into the core of your system. Remembering that the root of all of our practice is the breath. The breath is where the mind and the body come together. And we know that the way that we nurture ourselves from the external world is not just through food and fluid, but also through inhaling and bringing the oxygen into our system. So we take in the external world through our five senses and through inhalation. And when we're feeling stressed, often we will come to a shallow breath instinctively as a way of protecting ourselves and not taking in too much of the external world to keep ourselves from feeling overwhelmed. So as you ground yourself and find a comfortable position right now, remember that it's safe to fully inhale and exhale in this moment. Start to put your focus on the exhale, allowing your body to instinctively inhale. Allowing your exhale to be just a little longer than your inhale. Again, allowing your abdomen to rise and fall with your breath. As you begin to settle into your body, you'll begin to notice things that are happening in your body that maybe you were a little bit numbed out or detached from before. You might notice that it's even a little bit difficult to expand your abdomen. Perhaps your heart is racing. Perhaps you're noticing that you feel hot or cold or a bit uncomfortable. And let's not look away from these things. Let's acknowledge them, but not tell a story about them. Just acknowledge them, notice them, and just keep breathing. Bringing your consciousness down into your abdomen, allowing the abdomen to rise and fall. And when you feel ready, let's shift from just our abdomen rising and falling to expanding the sides and our flanks and our lateral body, in our lateral torso and diaphragm as we inhale. So this might feel a little uncomfortable at the beginning, but just allow yourself to expand into the side body when you inhale. And at the beginning, if this feels uncomfortable, just imagine it in your mind, that the sides of your body are expanding as you're inhaling and coming back to neutral when you're exhaling. And gently you'll begin to notice that you can bring some awareness into the lateral abdomen and the lateral diaphragm. This is an area that when we're tense, we often armor and clamp down on without realizing it. So when you can begin to expand laterally with inhaling and exhaling, it's a very freeing feeling. As you're getting better oxygenated, you might start to feel a little bit tingly in certain parts of your body. And that's just the oxygen being carried to the extremities. It's a deeper form of breathing, and it's totally okay if you notice that. Again, we're just noticing our sensations and continuing to move with the breath. Anything that's racing through your mind, it's the same as your body. Don't look away. Let's be present with it, acknowledging it, and just putting it aside for now, knowing that you can pick it back up and think about it or problem solve or worry about it at any point. But during this practice, we're just going to notice, acknowledge, and be present. And now when you're ready, we're going to bring the focus of our inhalation and exhalation into the back body. Allowing your back body to expand gently like a balloon on your inhale and come back to neutral with your exhale. You might feel a little bit of spaciousness come in between your vertebrae. Imagine your spine elongating on your inhale. Imagine your back muscles relaxing and expanding with your inhale. And coming back to neutral with your exhale. Now, when you feel ready to transition, we're going to bring the inhale up the spine and down the torso. So you're going to imagine a circle of energy coming from your lower back and your sacrum up your spine, over your head, washing down your torso on your exhale. Again, really putting the focus on the exhale and allowing your body to instinctively inhale. As you're coming up the spine, you might notice that certain vertebrae feel tight or stuck. Perhaps it's the same with some muscles in your back. Perhaps your scapula feel tight or the back of your neck feel tight. Notice the sensation of your face muscles as you're coming down the front, and the feeling in your sternum and in your heart as you're coming down, and your torso into the abdomen. Be present with any sensations that you have, noticing places that feel painful or feel like they need attention. Perhaps there's even some sharp pain. In Asian medicine, sharp pain is an indication that if we improve your blood flow and your circulation, that some of that pain will ease. So know that the practice that we're doing here by improving your breath, improving the flow of your chi and in your blood, is actually working right now just in this simple practice to be therapeutic and already starting to allow some of that sharpness to dull, some of those areas of stuck to start to move. Sometimes that stuck can feel physical, and sometimes that stuck is just a mental or emotional feeling. All the same, bringing your breath to it, allowing your circulation of chi and blood and oxygen to get down into the extremities is a way to start to shift those feelings. So coming up the spine and down the front into the abdomen. Allowing your shoulders to drop if they're feeling like they're up high or tight. Allowing the muscles in the back of your neck to soften. I notice that surprisingly, sometimes the muscles in my face are more contracted than I realize. Allowing your exhale to bring some softening. Once this is feeling more comfortable, begin to notice what's going on around you. Notice what you're smelling. Notice what you're tasting. Notice what you're hearing. Just being the observer of the external world in your current environment. It's not so much important if it's pleasing or not pleasing, as much as just noticing. Which brings us back into the present moment, the only moment that is actually in our experience right now. Often we get tripped up by this because the part of our brain where we house trauma or hard experiences from our past cannot differentiate past, present, and future. It cannot discern time. So often the past will be ever present with us and create the filter through which we are experiencing our present moment. Hence, re-experiencing our past traumas again and again. By bringing our presence back into our body, by bringing our presence back into the present moment, we begin to tap into a part of our brain that can differentiate time, that can remember that our past is not what we are experiencing in the present moment. That in this moment, we are safe. That it's safe to have choice. That it's safe to notice. And as simple as it sounds, that it's safe to nurture ourselves with breath. That it's safe to relax all of the muscles that you feel called to. including your digestive muscles, remembering that the stomach is a muscle, remembering that it takes muscles and peristalsis to move things through the digestive tract. So as we're inhaling and getting the chi and blood in our abdomen moving, it improves our digestion without even trying. Sometimes what happens when our digestion gets out of whack is that things that should be moving down are moving up. And you might be experiencing some reflux or some nausea. So the practice of coming back into your body, coming back into the present moment, coming back into your core is therapeutic for all of these things. This practice might be relaxing, but it is so much more than that. Now we're going to bring the inhale into the abdomen again, coming back into your core. And let the exhale wash down your lower body. Whether that's the front or the back, wherever you're drawn is great. Expanding your abdomen on the inhale and letting it wash down your lower body on the exhale. Again, noticing what you feel in your sacrum. Perhaps there's some tight muscles in your legs, or some sensation in your knees or ankles. If you're sitting, this is a great time to notice the surface under the soles of your feet. And if you're laying, perhaps bend your knees and feel the soles of your feet on the surface beneath them. Bringing some proprioception into your awareness, feeling supported by the surface under your back, feeling supported by the surface under your sacrum or your sits bones, feeling your feet making contact with the earth or the ground beneath you. Allowing yourself to feel where you are in space. Allowing yourself to feel supported. Allowing your body to feel some stillness in its constant motion. The heart is very young. It is ever beating and working to help circulation. And when we are at rest, the heart is expanding and contracting and pumping the blood, and the liver is allocating that blood. And when we are at rest, liver is storing it. Our lungs are ever expanding and contracting to take in the external world, to nurture us through our breath, to turn that breath into chi, along with our food and fluid, ever resourcing ourselves by refreshing our chi in each moment. Take a moment to honor your body, for how hard it's working for you, even when you're not realizing it. Even when we detach from ourselves, even when we numb out, our body is continuing to be present and do the work for us. Bringing our presence back into our body is the way that we feel the most alive, is therapeutic, is how we meet the present moment, is how we feel grounded and sturdy and resourced, is how we feel the most like ourselves. It is the place that we have the remembrance that in this moment, we can just allow our mind and our body and our presence to be. In this moment, we don't need to solve anything. We don't need to try. We just are in the midst of all the movement inside of ourselves and outside of ourselves. The stillness that we find doesn't mean that there's no movement of thought, no movement internally and externally. It's the stillness that we can find in the midst of the movement that is so therapeutic. Thanks for being with me.